In that area lost electricity.
And as the sun set on the Charleston harbor tonight, the first bands of Florence rolled into the Tri-County. Quite a different picture than what we have seen all week long.
The latest track was just released. Our chief meteorologist Dave Williams is here breaking it all down for us at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, and at this point, we're just going to watch it move over land. So it is weakening. The keys to take away from this latest update: it's weakened quite a bit. We're back to 65 miles an hour now. Florence is a tropical storm. And the other change here, it's speeding up a tad, only by 2 miles an hour, and it's gained a southerly component to its movement. So it's moving west-southwesterly now. That's going to bring it a little closer to us down here in the low country. There's the center of the storm. And is this irony or coincidence? I'm so bad with this. Florence, 45 miles from Florence. Irony or coincidence? Irony. There we go. I always get those two mixed up. Yeah, there it is. Well, 15 days ago, I said there's probably a better chance that this storm ends up near Florence, Italy than Florence, South Carolina. Oops. Here it is, right near Florence, South Carolina, but at least it's just a tropical storm now, and we've been on the weak side of this storm, and I don't want to downplay it because up in North Carolina it's been catastrophic, and we really send our prayers and hope that things get cleaned up very quickly for our neighbors to the north. We know they would do the same for us if we were in the same situation, and it continues to be a very dangerous storm up in North Carolina with that heavy rain. We've been on the weaker side of the storm the entire time, and that's why we haven't seen a whole lot. Our confidence scale in the impacts coming our way with the flooding, we're at the moderate level. So I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of flooding. It's not going to be widespread. We're going to see that flooding in a few locales as we get the heavy rain that's coming in later tonight and into your Saturday. As far as those tropical storm force winds, we've already had those. There's a high impact from those. We've had power outages, we've had trees blown down, branches blown down, and there you go, a high impact from the tropical storm force winds. That's going to continue tonight and into the day tomorrow. So if you fall asleep here soon and you wake up in the middle of the night and you hear that wind howling, it's still going to be up around 50 miles an hour from time to time. And that's why we remain under a tropical storm warning. Charleston County, Dorchester, Berkeley, Williamsburg, Georgetown, and on to the north, all under a tropical storm warning as that storm continues to move. It's going to move right on through northern Williamsburg County, and we're all also under a flash flood watch. Now, it doesn't include Colleton County, and somebody asked me about that, and I said it's just a sharp cutoff on the backside of the storm that you aren't going to get a whole lot of rain in Colleton County. Even Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley, it's going to be mainly confined to the northern parts of the county here and up to the north. Williamsburg and Georgetown, you've been picking up some very heavy rain, and there it is around Kingstree, Georgetown, moderate to heavy rainfall. That's starting to move in around Cross, Monk's Corner, and on down toward Allendale, McClellanville. There's also some rain now around Somerville. That's just light to moderate rain. But look at this rain from Pleasant Hill on over toward Plantersville, Pawleys Island, Georgetown, Andrews, all picking up that moderate to heavy rainfall. Take a larger view of our storm, and there it is. Showers and thunderstorms. The worst weather off to the north of the center. Still, tornado watches out into North Carolina. Your tropical impacts look like this. Winds of 39 miles an hour or greater. We've got that. That will continue. Dangerous ocean. We saw the harbor whipped up when those bands come through. It's going to be very dangerous, and stay out of the ocean for the next few days. Flooding possible, but mainly in just some isolated areas. We will see some improvement as we go into our Sunday. Tonight, windy, rainy. Same tomorrow, windy, rainy. Not going to heat up a lot. And then tomorrow night, our conditions will improve, and it gets even better Sunday into Monday. We'll get a look at that full 7-day forecast. Plus, we'll take a look at a few things that have already happened with Florence and a few more things that I expect to happen into the day tomorrow.
This storm has claimed the lives of 5 people in North Carolina, about 150 miles from where Florence made landfall in the Tar Heel State. Georgetown County leaders now concerned about flooding issues.
Jordan Bunke is live there tonight. Jordan, tell us what you are seeing and what people are saying.
Well, you heard about those flooding issues. Georgetown County Police, they're taking this very, very seriously. We were parked in our car just a while ago with our trunk open. That's where our live gear is so that we could do all these live shots. We had that officer pull up behind us and ask us with the flashlight in our car, what are you guys doing? We told him, hey, we're a news crew. We're here to just do a couple live shots, inform the public, try and keep them safe. And he told us, we are pulling over anybody who is on the roads right now. When we were coming from the Georgetown County EOC, we started to see that puddle accumulation and some of the flooding that's in the trenches in between the interstate and some of these strip malls. You can see the strip malls behind us. These folks boarded up shop here. Georgetown County Police, they also tell us that among the 6,000 power outages, that was the last check at about an hour ago. There could be more, and that's been increasing throughout the day. A good number of them are coming just around the strip mall, around the other corner. You can't even see it. If we turn the light off, we would be pitch black right now. And this stoplight right now, it's supposed to be treated as a four-way stop. People are just blowing by it right now because they can't even see that there's a stoplight out here. The winds every once in a while will really pick up. Throughout the day, we've been experiencing no wind at all, to 15 miles an hour, to 30 miles an hour, and it's starting to gain. The Georgetown County EOC, the county officials, just up the road, about maybe 15 minutes, they tell us that once it hits 40, 50 miles an hour, they will stop responding to 911 calls, and that is not in their nature. So it's a very serious situation. The flooding could get worse as the night goes on, and Georgetown County officials are monitoring it throughout the night as well, just like we are. We're not out of the woods yet. This is a slow-moving storm. We'll see what happens. I'm Jordan Bonke reporting in Georgetown County.
Well, the peninsula floods after a decent summer shower. We continue our team coverage from Charleston with ABC News 4's Bill Burr live at the marina with reaction to what's going on there tonight. Bill?
Dean, good evening. Winds are worsening by the hour here, at least in the downtown area. Just coming over here to the marina from our hotel room, we're seeing more debris on local streets. Tree limbs, tree branches, palm branches are tumbling like tumbleweeds here along the desolate streets. So many people are asking us what's going on with this storm. They're ready for Florence to pay a visit. Dusk in downtown Charleston brought stronger winds and light rain. It also brought people admiring the beauty of the Ashley River after a busy day of storm preps.
Taped all my windows today, taped my doors, took my new Jeep, put it in the backyard, covered it with the car cover, tied the strap in it, hooked my boat up.
Calvin Kendall and his dog Ginger decided to stroll through Charleston City Marina. Kendall has connections to North Carolina, where Florence is causing chaos.
And my friend, he just bought a home in Wilmington, and I was over him for 6.5 hours today, and they're without power. So, you know, I'm glad we didn't get the effects that New Bern got, so with the flooding, because we could have got it.
Dabney Dobbs lives on a boat in the Ashley River. He's leaving it just hours before possible severe tropical weather moves in.
I don't want to have to stay up all night worrying, is it raining, is it raining? Are there waves 4 feet? Are they crashing into the dinghy? And I'd be up all night just jumping in and out of the boat to check on it.
For now, he and many others will check the skies to see if Mother Nature turns fierce. A spokesperson for the city of Charleston tells me earlier today that emergency management officials are really concerned that so many people are taking this storm in stride. They're worrying that they're being lackadaisical because of what this tropical storm could bring. In the meantime, they're hoping that those people stay indoors until the worst is over. Working for you in downtown, Bill Burr, ABC News 4.
Bill, thank you. In Berkeley County, get a look at this video sent to us tonight by a viewer. Waves from Lake Marion crashed onto Bono Beach today. Our Angela Brown is live tonight from Bono Town Limits. Okay. Angela, fill us in.
Well, we're here. You can see Lake Moultrie behind me, and people have been stopping by just to get shots of what's happening, to get pictures. You can see Florence just churning up the water here, the water rough. Huge, big waves that seem to only be growing bigger. As Florence comes closer, the water is getting rough on Lake Moultrie in Berkeley County.
If I lived, closer to the coast, then definitely I would be super worried about flooding.
We caught up with spectators who drove to the lake to watch big waves crashing against the dock.
crazy, really. We just came out here just to see the waves and stuff.
Just miles away, Florence already causing problems. Light winds helping to bring down this tree right on top of their roof.
My husband, even today, he came outside, he said, look at this tree, don't you think it's leaning a little more?
Less than an hour later, acts of kindness, neighbors helping neighbors by cutting off branches.
Very fortunate it didn't. No damage inside.
Back at Lake Moultrie, others are still waiting to see what Florence will bring.
This is mild. Everything was put on TV like it was going to be crazy, and this is nothing.
Well, we're standing on the deck here of Watermark Bar and Grill. They were actually opened until 10 o'clock. They were kind enough to let us stand here so we can show you this view. But we have been driving around Berkeley County all day. In fact, we're headed back to the shelter at Goose Creek High School, where they were full, almost basically to capacity, nearly 400 people. So a lot of people taking shelter. They did leave their homes in anticipation of Florence. We're going to head back there and talk to some people at the shelter. Reporting live here in Berkeley County, Angela Brown, ABC News 4.
All right, still ahead here on ABC News 4 at 11.
While most places are looking more like a ghost town, the Florence evacuations have had the opposite effect in some places. I'm Caroline Balchunas. We'll take you to Park Circle coming up.
I don't have to tell you, it has been a long week waiting on Florence. People in the Lowcountry trying to enjoy every minute of this downtime.
Caroline Balchunas live tonight for us in Park Circle, that is in North Charleston. Carolina, how's Friday night shaping up there?
Well, Dean, Ashley, it is not your typical Friday night that you usually see here on this strip in Park Circle. It's usually bustling and very lively as people shuffle between bars and restaurants, but that doesn't mean it was dead either. It's just things are shut down now. As we saw earlier tonight, people clearly had cabin fever and were so glad to get out of the house and to venture out to these bars and restaurants. At least that was the case at Evo off East Montague Street. Of course, it's a local's favorite, known for their pizza. Staff say it was actually more busy tonight than on most Friday nights, and an hour wait at some points. People say, or people told us they were definitely glad to get out of the house, and we talked to a group of friends who say they do not regret evacuating. Or not evacuating.
You lose money. You're in hotels. You're stuck away from home, animals. You're a bit jaded to it. So now here we are, and it played out. You've got 20, 25 mile an hour winds. There's 12 cars on the road. 11 of them are cops.
People have also been remarking and posting on social media how much they are enjoying having the city to themselves. Of course, everyone complains about the traffic here in the Lowcountry, and there's been virtually none of it as we have seen this week. But here in Park Circle, things are starting to wind down. A lot of the places shut down at 10 p.m. I think there's 1 or 2 bars still open along this strip, but we're not seeing hardly much of anybody. I just put my rain jacket on. We've been seeing scattered showers on and off, but we can definitely tell the wind is starting to pick up, so we're starting to feel those bands here in North Charleston. Reporting live in Park Circle, I'm Caroline Balchunas.
ABC News 4 First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams.
And we are feeling the fringes of the storm right now. It's up near Florence, so coincidentally, Florence is close to Florence. Here's what we're going to see from that storm this weekend. Gusty winds. We're seeing wind gusts up over 50 miles an hour at times. We're going to see heavy downpours as well. Localized flooding, not all through the Lowcountry, but in some spots, especially north of I-26 and mainly up into Williamsburg and Georgetown County. That's where there could be some flooding. And really, everything is looking better than we first anticipated as this storm was making landfall. So it kind of fell apart on the south side, which is just fine. That really minimized our impacts. Look at some of these wind gusts. Charleston International, a 53-mile-an-hour wind gust earlier this evening. 46 in Pinopolis. Fort Sumter, 55-mile-an-hour wind gust. That's the highest one I've seen in the Lowcountry. 47 Capers Buoy and 49 on the Edisto Buoy there. And we'll see those tropical storm force winds continuing into our Saturday as Tropical Storm Florence slowly moves off to our north and west. Right now the storm is right here, moving from Horry County on to the west, and we're looking at some very strong winds in Florence at 35 miles an hour, 26 in Myrtle Beach and 24 in Charleston. But let's see where those wind gusts sit as of 11 p.m. And there they are. 52-mile-an-hour wind gust in Florence, 32 in Myrtle Beach, 35 in Charleston, even Beaufort. Far from the center of this circulation, 40-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Well, it just dropped back, but we had a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust there, 32 now, and 36 in Orangeburg. Very heavy rain, very sharp cutoff from where the heavy rain has been. The heaviest of the rain in our area, certainly here in northeastern Williamsburg County and northern Georgetown County. I thought some of this would sneak down into Berkeley and Charleston County. It hasn't. That's fine. We don't want the flooding, but we could use a little bit of rain, and we're going to see that coming our way. We don't want to see anything like this. This is north of where the storm came on shore, just off to the north of Swansboro and Emerald Isle there in North Carolina. Live first warning Doppler radar can estimate how much rain came down, and I think our estimate is a little low here at 20.4 inches. It's suggested that some of the rainfall totals already up around 30 inches in North Carolina. Even down here, south of Wilmington, near Oak Island, 13.8 inches of rain have come down, so very heavy rainfall up in North Carolina, but it's been concentrated off to the north of where the center came on shore. We're looking at moderate to heavy rain now in Pleasant Hill, on over toward Murrells Inlet, a little bit lighter rain just off to the north and west of Georgetown over toward Andrews. Some moderate to heavy rainfall, and as you're going from Georgetown On over toward Jamestown on 17A, some heavy rain there headed through the Francis Marion National Forest, and that's what we're seeing through northern Charleston County, northern Berkeley County, and this is sinking south. So see, folks, in Somerville, you're getting that rain now. Ladson out toward Knightsville, some of that moderate rainfall, and we'll see from time to time bands of heavier rainfall coming through as they wrap around the backside of that storm. Don't have to worry about any surge. That was all on the north side of the storm. As we take a wider view, there it is. We've got that storm spinning through Horry County on to the west over toward Florence County and northern Williamsburg County. That's where we're going to get the heaviest of the rain, and we'll see those conditions even into the day tomorrow a little bit dicey, which you'll see on FutureCast. Wind forward in time from tonight. There we are, 3 o'clock in the morning. And you could be woken up by some gusty winds blowing some tree branches around. We've had reports of power outages, and look at that. Those bands come through, tropical storm force winds and torrential rainfall. Still have some of that going on at 6 o'clock in the morning, mainly from I-26 north. South of that, not a whole lot. Colleton County barely picking up anything. And then as we head toward lunchtime, the storm starts to weaken even more. And moving forward to 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, just a couple scattered showers tomorrow night. Things wind down even more, moving into your Sunday. And there goes our storm system. We're looking much better on Sunday. Fortunately, it doesn't look like the cleanup's going to be too bad around the low country, but there have been some tree branches and trees blown down here and there. Overnight tonight, you can expect 74 degrees, some tropical downpours, and we'll be looking at those gusty westerly winds. Moving into the day tomorrow, 83 degrees, plenty of clouds throughout the day, and tropical downpours from time to time. It's not going to rain all the time, but when it does, it's really going to come down. The next week looks like this. A lower chance for rain on Sunday. Monday, still some lingering showers and thunderstorms, but as we get more sun, those temperatures heat up, and we'll see those highs right around 90 through next week. And look at Wednesday through Friday. Time to get back out and enjoy the beach. It's going to be feeling like summertime.
Looking forward to that. Dave, thank you. One of the last places to feel Florence, Folly Beach. People there are still waiting for the storm to come. Ben Garbarek on Folly with what the conditions are looking like there. Ben, good evening.
Well, good evening. We've been feeling some of those stiff winds for several hours now. And for a brief moment, for about 5-10 minutes, we had a little bit of rain coming down, but that did not last long. It is now clear out here. So we're feeling very few effects of Florence at this point. Firefighters nearby on James Island, they have been working some long hours in anticipation of this storm, just in case this packs a punch. We caught up with some of those firefighters at a station nearby just a few hours ago, and they say they have 2 shifts of people working right now to make sure they're ready to go. Many of them have worked during Matthew and Irma and other major hurricanes in the past. They know the drill. They say this time around, most people have listened to all the warnings and have left the area.
I think some did, some didn't. You know, you can drive around James Island and other areas of Charleston and see people out at the bars and things like that. But I think for the most part, people have listened.
And there is still a curfew in effect for Folly Beach. That started at 9 p.m. tonight. I just spoke with a police officer a few minutes ago. That is something they are enforcing. They're making sure no one is out on the roads or out on the sidewalks at this point. That curfew will last until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and they will continue to have this curfew going until 24 hours after this storm is over. Live in Folly Beach, I'm Ben Garbarek, ABC News 4.
Ben, thank you. Finding a good meal in the storm, not easy at all, but we found a restaurant in North Charleston serving up much more than dinner.
Welcome back, everybody. Finding places to eat during a hurricane can be a challenge, but we did find a restaurant in North Charleston who is feeding more than your everyday crowd.
Here's Caroline Balchunas.
Waffle House isn't the only place open. The Bonefish here in North Charleston is too, and they have left a very good impression with law enforcement. Yesterday, all law enforcement and first responders ate for free. Matt Bradshaw, who's the manager here, he says he posted it on social media, and it was not long before the message got out. He says by the end of the day, more than 100 officials stopped by. State troopers, Coast Guard, North Charleston Police and Fire, SLED agents, DNR officers. He says he didn't expect that many people, but was happy to treat them.
I just know that, hey, they have a tough job, and I know that they're all going to be working overtime right now because of the disaster relief and evacuation efforts. So, you know, that's why I've got a place in my heart for law enforcement and first responders. Despite
serving comped meals, the servers say they actually made a lot of money. Apparently law enforcement are really good tippers, so it was a win-win for everybody. Reporting in North Charleston, I'm Caroline Balchunas.
We're back in 2 minutes with our chief meteorologist Dave Williams, but first another live look at Lake Moultrie in Bono. Waves crashing over barriers. You're watching ABC News 4 at 11.
All right, before we go tonight, some pretty awesome video time lapse. This is just right outside of Camden as those first set of bands from Florence came rolling into town. And we certainly saw kind of that, I don't want to say discoloration, but that was kind of an orange glow to our sunset tonight that we don't normally see. It was
pretty incredible video.
A little weird.
But you know what I always say about sunrises and sunsets?
One happens in the east, one happens in the west.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But
what else do you say?
If you're going to have a good-looking sunrise or sunset, you have to have clouds.
There you go.
There's no clouds in the sky. It's just, there's the sun. But when you have the clouds, it plays with the rays, and you get reflection, refraction, and what you had going on there. So when you saw the purple color...
Oh, boy. Props.
You saw the purple color The sun was up here.
Yeah.
And it was blocking out a lot of the sun's rays. What happened when it turned orange? The sun dropped below the horizon, got underneath those clouds.
Yeah.
It reflected, refracted. You got that bright orange color because it was below the clouds, and it lit everything up. So there you go.
How about that?
Science. And
In 30 seconds.
We've been doing a lot of science around here this week, and hey, that's my bread and butter. I love being a science nerd.
We really got to get through the next 24 hours. You're going to see that rain pick up throughout tonight, heavy tomorrow morning as well.
But we've got to count our blessings. It could be a lot worse. The folks in North Carolina were thinking about them, hoping that things get cleaned up very quickly. And if you need anything, let us know. We're willing to help out.
It may be your bread and butter, but are you toast?
Not yet. That's coming.
It's starting to smell.
Be safe.